Imagine, just for a second, a city so incredibly dazzling that sailors passing by literally thought the sun itself had come down to Earth. We're talking about the fabled golden city of Lanka. Its walls were solid gold, the gates were absolutely studded with diamonds. But beneath all that breathtaking beauty, buried deep down in the city's foundations, lay a seriously dark truth. In this explainer, we're going to unpack one of the most fascinating legends of ancient times. It's a story of immense power, hidden knowledge, and a secret so terrifying that it had to be permanently erased.
And that brings us to the ultimate mystery we are solving today. Why did King Vibhishana, the very second he took the throne after this devastating war, choose to permanently bury his brother Ravana's absolute greatest treasure instead of, just using it? What could possibly be so dangerous that an absolute ruler would look at it and decide to seal it away forever? Okay, let's dive into Section 1, Ravana's Secret Vault. To really understand the secret, we have to understand the mind that built it. Now, Ravana wasn't just some one-dimensional villain. He had this striking duality. On the one hand, the guy was a brilliant scholar. An absolute master of the Vedas, an expert in Ayurveda and astrology, and a deeply, deeply devoted follower of Lord Shiva. He even composed the famous Shiva Tandava Stotram. But countering all that brilliance was a fatal flaw, this terrifying, unrestrained thirst for immortality. He wanted absolute mastery over death itself, and that massive ego slowly but surely began to corrupt his genius.
Which brings us to Section 2, Creation and Mystery of the Vault.
So Ravana's ambition didn't just stay in his head, it physically manifested into this massive, top-secret underground vault right beneath his private chambers. But he didn't just hire local builders. No, he specifically summoned demonic architects from Patala Loka. And here is where it gets genuinely chilling. Immediately after the construction was done, those architects just vanished, gone without a single trace. Nobody in the Golden City dared to ask any questions about it, and even his highest-ranking generals had absolutely no idea this subterranean chamber even existed. By day, Ravana was the mighty king holding court, running the empire. But his nights? Totally different story. He would make this solitary descent down into his hidden chamber for hours of incredibly intense tantric chants and havans. His one and only goal was getting control over time and death. The source texts actually suggest that it was during these highly classified midnight sessions that he managed to extract his own Amrit, his life essence, storing it safely in a mystical pot so he could never be easily killed in battle. Moving on to Section 3, Vibhishana's Discovery. So picture this. It's late at night, and a deeply pious Vibhishana accidentally spots Ravana sneaking into this secret entrance with a group of chanting tantrics. When Vibhishana confronts him the next day, their ideological clash is just undeniable. Ravana, totally consumed by his own arrogance, snaps back that this knowledge is his and his alone. But Vibhishana's logic was simple, grounded completely in Dharma. He just asks, if this path is righteous, why hide it? Ravana's furious reaction to that question only left Vibhishana deeply unsettled. He knew his brother was tampering with some seriously dark forces.
All right, Section 4, Path of Dharma and War.
The real tipping point finally hit when Ravana brought Sita to Lanka. Right there in open court, Vibhishana literally begged his brother to just return her peacefully and save their city from total destruction. Instead, Ravana insults him and kicks him out, banished. So, forced to choose between blind family loyalty and actual truth, Vibhishana makes the agonizing call to align with Rama for the sake of Dharma. And crucially, it was Vibhishana who ended up exposing the secret of Ravana's life force, which led directly to the mighty king's ultimate downfall. And that leads us right into Section 5, What Was Inside the Vault. The war is over. Accompanied by his most trusted priests, the newly crowned King Vibhishana finally breaks those heavy tantric locks open. And what's inside is a terrifying inventory. We're talking blinding divine weapons won through pure deceit, ancient palm leaf texts with knowledge that literally defied the laws of creation, a cursed mystical mirror that showed the future but slowly destroyed the user's sanity, and, of course, that mystical pot that once held Ravana's life essence. These objects were so volatile, they could literally disrupt the balance of the entire universe if they fell into the wrong hands. But honestly, it wasn't just the physical objects. It was the atmosphere in that room. As Vibhishana started scanning the texts, he actually felt the dark allure of that forbidden knowledge actively pulling at his own mind. Imagine that for a second, feeling your own strong morality just starting to slip. In that terrifying moment,
It clicked. He understood exactly what had driven his brilliant brother completely mad. The knowledge down there wasn't just information. It was a living, corrupting force.
Section 6. Vibhishana's final decision.
Realizing the sheer, overwhelming danger of this place, Vibhishana fled the vault and immediately called a highly classified council with Lanka's senior sages. Now, some of them actually suggested using the weapons to protect the city. But then, one elder sage stood up and delivered a truth that frankly shifted the course of history. He said, "Even if you walk the path of Dharma today, who knows about tomorrow's generations? True wisdom is knowing when to stay silent forever." That hit Vibhishana hard. He realized absolute power like this cannot be managed. It literally must be buried. Let's move to the timeline and see how this intense 3-day sealing ritual actually went down. Day 1 kicked off with hundreds of priests starting a continuous havan just to neutralize the wild energy. By day 2, strange vibrations were literally shaking the ground. The dark forces were actively resisting being sealed away. Finally, on the night of day 3, a massive, absolutely deafening roar erupted from deep within the vault, and then just absolute dead silence. The entity had finally submitted. With the energy neutralized, Vibhishana didn't take any chances. He took permanent action. They applied heavy, permanent tantric seals to the doors. They completely buried the entrance beneath massive stone boulders. And then, in a stroke of absolute genius, he ordered totally new structures to be built directly over the site. By physically erasing it from Lanka's architecture, the vault just faded out of history and became mere folklore.
So what is the big takeaway from all this? It really comes down to the definition of true power. True power isn't about what you can unleash. It's the strength to restrain yourself. It's knowing exactly what must be buried for the greater good, rather than wielding it for your own personal gain. That restraint right there is what made Vibhishana a true Dharmaraj. He had the ultimate power of the universe right at his fingertips, and he had the extraordinary courage to just turn his back and walk away.
Today, thousands of years later, as effigies of Ravana burn in annual festivals all over, the whispers of this incredible legend still linger. And it leaves us with one seriously provocative thought. Does Ravana's dark vault, with all of its forbidden knowledge and ancient, universe-altering weapons, still lie hidden somewhere beneath the soil of modern-day Sri Lanka? It's a fascinating myth, for sure, and a solid reminder that maybe, just maybe, some mysteries are better left undiscovered. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.